which language we are using to modify the files in database? We are using SQL. But Python also can do the job of SQL. Java is improved version of C++, object oriented. You will be having more methods and all. So it is a combination of all. That's why we can do anything in the Python. While it comes to the scripting mode, you have to write the program, save it in some file, then execute that file. That is called as scripting mode. Hello everyone, welcome to very first session on the subject Python for 4th semester BCA student. Myself, Induji, the Faculty of Computer Science Department, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. As we have dealt with the syllabus, now we are moving into the syllabus. What exactly we are going to discuss about Python. As we are studying the new thing, as we are discussing the new thing, first and foremost thing, we should answer to 3 basic questions. What, why and how. So, let us answer what, why and how. So, this is what we have. What is Python? We'll discuss what is Python and what Python can do. Why Python? These are all some of the basic questions we are supposed to answer before going into the topic, right? So let us see what is Python. First time when you just hear about the word Python, what you may think? It's a type of snake. No, we are discussing with respect to the computer application. Here, Python is a programming language. So, Python is a popular programming language. It was created by whom? It was created by Gaudio van Rossum in the year 1991. Who is the developer of Python language? Gaudio van Rossum. Further, it was taken care by the Python Software Foundation. So, that is a basic thing about the Python. What is Python? Is a programming language. Who developed the Python? Gaudio van Rossum developed the Python at the year 1991. Later on, that will be taken care by the Python Software Foundation. So, let us see why we are switching from other programming language to the Python programming language. Why the name Python? Yes, as I told you, it's very catchy name, right? When you first hear the word Python, what do you think of? You think of snake. Exactly, the developer of this programming language wanted the same. That is very catchy. He wanted very catchy name for his programming language. When he was developing that language, he was meanwhile seeing one comic series called as Monthly Python Flying Circus. Okay. So, Van Rossum wanted to select the name which is unique and sorted little bit mysterious. So, he decided to select the name Python based on this comedy series, Monthly Python's Flying Circus. There's one more reason why he has selected, because this particular series will covering everything. Like it is very creative and random also, talking about everything, all the fields. So, talking about everything. He felt that it will suit for the programming language. This concept will suit for the programming language. So, he named it as on the name of Python. Okay, that is how the name Python come to this programming language. What Python can do? Okay, as we said, it talks about everything. Python can do everything whatever we do in the computers, right? Used on the server to create the web application. So, usually what we'll take for a web application, HTML or PHP we use for web development. Python can do. Used alongside software to create the workflow. What all the languages we use to create the software? C++, Java, C#. So, these are some of the languages that is used by the developer to create the software. Python can also do this. It can connect the database system. It can also read and modify the files in the database. Which language we are using to modify the files in database? We are using SQL. But Python also can do the job of SQL. It can be used to handle the big data and perform the complex mathematical solutions. Okay, and then it can be used rapid prototyping for productive ready software development. Using Python, you can develop the software rapidly. Rapidly means in short of time. Okay, so what Python can do, what all these language together will do, Python alone can do. That's why it covers everything. Okay, so this is a reason why we are switching from other programming languages to the Python. Like, why Python? Python works on different platform. Different platform is, it is platform independent. As we have studied in the Java, Java is also platform independent. Python is also platform independent. You can run the same piece of the code in any of the platform. It may be in the Windows, it may be in the Linux, Mac or Raspberry. Whichever the platform you take, the same piece of code will be executed. No need to modify the code. Python has a simple syntax similar to the English language. As we are having the complex syntax for Java and C hash, we don't have complex syntax in Python. It is very simple syntax as we are doing in the English language. When we go into the example, you'll get to know how simple it is. Python has a syntax that allows the developer to write the program with the fewer lines of code compared to other programming language. For example, I can take, if you want to print the value for x is equal to 10. How will you do it in other programming language? Say, consider the basic programming language. First, you have to declare the variable int, saying the compiler that I'm using one variable called x, which is of the type integer. Then you have to scan that particular integer to read the value ampersand of x. Then printf, value of x is equal to x, right? So this 4 lines of the code we need to write just to give the value x is equal to 5. What in Python, just you declare x is equal to 10. That's it. You need not to do anything. The interpreter will understand itself x is of the type integer and it is asking to assign the value with the 10. So that is very simple. That is meant by we can execute the program with the fewer lines of the codes. Instead of writing 4 lines, we can complete it in single line. Python runs on interpreter style. So here you have to give your attention, like what is interpreter and compiler. When we say it is a compiler, it will take a piece of the program and it will compile complete program and then give the error, where interpreter will just go with the line by line compilation. If you write int x is equal to 10, it will compile then and there. Okay. So that is the job of interpreter. It runs on the interpreter system, meaning that the code can be executed as soon as it is written. Okay, that is one of the reason why Python is widely used nowadays. Python can be treated in the procedural way, that is in what the C language does. It can be used as an object-oriented way also, and it also can be used in the functional way, as combination of your C language, C++ language and a Java language. Java and C++ are object oriented. Java is improved version of C++ object oriented. You will be having more methods and all. So it is a combination of all. That's why we can do anything in the Python. So understood the reason why we are using Python in the larger scale. Then what we have is Python feature and advantages. What all the features of the Python, what all we can do, what all will help us to do, use the Python more and more. That is the features. It easy to code. As we have a less number of lines of code, it is easy to code. It is easy to read because most of the statements are like English like structure. So it is easy to read. Free and open source. We need not to pay anything. We can download the software for the free and we can use it. and also we can update some of the function if developer wants to. Then robot standard library, it has a huge number of libraries which keep on updating day by day. So whenever we need not to write the program or the lines of code for each and every action, we just need to call the methods that is already there in the library. A large number of the library functions are there. Interpreted, as we have discussed, interpreted, it will compile the instruction line by line then and there as it is written. Then portable, it is platform independent, right? It can run on Windows, it can run on Linux, or it can run on Mac. Any platform it can run. That is called as portable. It can have both the concept of object oriented as well as a procedure oriented. It is extendable. As the developer developing any method or the any function, it can add it to the library. So it can extendable. It's not limited. Then expressive. It is very expressive. When you are reading, you can understand what it is for. So that is expressive. Support for GUI. It also supports for graphical user interface for developing the front end for the customers. And dynamically typed. We need not to tell the compiler that we are going to use this variable. When during the runtime only, it will take the variable and it will assign the value. That is called as dynamically typed. Then it is a high level language. As we are representing all the instruction, most of the instruction in the English like structure, it is high level language. Simplify complex software development. As number of lines is reduced, it simplifies the complex program in a simple way. We can write the program using Python, the complex program, in a simple way. So these are all the features what we had and advantages of Python, using Python programming language. Easy, expressive, free and open source, high level language, portable, then object creation or object oriented, extensible, embedded, interpreted, large standard libraries what we have, allows a GUI programming also, and it allows the dynamically allocating the variables. So next what we have is Python application, where all we can use this. As it has so many of features, so many advantages, where all we can use this, in each and every field we can use this. Let's say we can use the Python for website development, to create the website for the customer or for the entrepreneurs. We can use this. For game development, it also allows to develop the game. Machine learning and artificial intelligence, and nowadays the computer era is running on this. Actually, machine learning and artificial intelligence, very important point of computer science. That is nowadays what we are in this stage, artificial intelligence. We can write the program for the artificial intelligence, developing the program, right? Data science and data visualization. Whenever we are dealing with the computer, everything depends on the data. So we have to analyze data, what data to be put and what data not to be put, and what data where to be put. That is called as data science and data visualization. If this data has been put here, what would be the output? That is a visualization, like prototyping. There we can use. And desktop GUIs for the customer interaction, user interaction. Customer does not know how the program has been done. Just he wants to click on particular icon and he needs to get the detail of it. Exactly. To develop that also GUI, we are using the Python programming language. Then web scripting application. To script the web also we are using this is front end or back end. Both will be done by the Python programming language. Business application. Many of the business application nowadays has been developed using the Python, that helps the business people or the entrepreneurs to manage their business. Then audio and video application, it can be used in audio and video application as well. CAD application for development, designing and development, we are using Python. And embedded application, embedded systems also we are using the Python programming language. These are many applications what we have on the using the Python. Then So that is what represent in the diagrammatic form. If you remember the diagram, it is very easy to recall. That's why we have put it in the diagrammatic form. Like web development, software development, data analysis, machine learning, artificial intelligence, mathematical or statistical analysis, system scripting, and cyber security. These are all some of the different areas where we are using the Python programming languages. Next, move on to the history of Python programming, when it is created and how it has been improved from so many years. So first, as we told you, it is introduced in 1991, developed by Gadio van Rossum, introduced by 1991. Later on, it is taken care by the Python developers. So after that, the first version of the Python is released in 1994, January 1994, with added with some more features. They have released one first version of the Python, then 1.5. The just improvement for that will be done later in 1997. After 3 years of that, next version of the Python has developed, that is at the September 2000. After this 2000, the Python is randomly developed. Okay, you can see September to October, one more version is released. October to April 2001, one more version released. So as we are developing, we are adding the library, each version will be released. Latest version is released in 2020. So we are in Python 3.9 now. Okay. Python 3.7 was developed in 2018. Now the new version Python 3.9 was released. Okay, this is all about the history and the different version of the Python that has been given. Why version? So many version, as it is extendable. Whenever it is extending, it will come with the new version. You can, the programmer as a developer, you can add many features because it is an open source, right? So as when you are adding the features, the version will develop, the version will be varied. Okay, that's what about the Python history and then the version. That installation of Python, how do we install? As I told you, it's a free and open source. You can directly go into the website and download the particular version, whichever you want. So installing the Python on the Windows will take the series of few steps. How we can do? Select the version of the Python to install. How you are going to select? It depends on your system, whether your system is 32-bit or 64-bit. If it is 32-bit, we are going with the lower version of the Python. If it's 64-bit, it's supposed the higher end version of the Python. So depending on that, you are going to select the version of Python which you want to install onto your system. Okay, then download the Python executable installer. So we have to download. First select the version, then click on the download button, run executable install. After downloading, go to the run. One icon will be there, then click on that, it will run the particular software to be installed. Then on clicking on the install now, the installation process will start. Okay, this is step 3. What is in the step 4? Verify the Python is installed on Windows or not. How to verify? Okay, I have given run command, it will run install, and then how do I check whether it is installed properly or not? So that can be done by using this. Open the command prompt, go to the command prompt and type a Python in that. If that, press enter, the version of the Python which have been installed will be displayed. If you just type a Python and press enter, which version you have selected here, that version has to be displayed here. So then you can say the installation is completed. You have a proper Python thing to work on. So next what we have is Python command line prompt. How we are using the command line prompt? We have a following two types of way in which we can run the code. One is using the interactive mode and another is using the scripting mode. Interactive mode, what it means? In the interactive mode, as we are entering the command and press enter, the very next step gets output, that is called read, evaluate, print loop. As we are entering, next we are getting the output, that is nothing but interactive mode. While it comes to the scripting mode, you have to write the program, save it in some file, then execute that file, that is called as scripting mode. So scripting mode in the Python is where we write the Python program inside the script file, where we are writing inside the script file and execute it after that. After saving in one particular file, we are executing the file. We can execute the script of code either by using the command prompt or by using the Python IDEs. IDEs means there is one separate environment to compile and interpret the programming language, that is called as integrated development environment. So there is a different tools to execute the programming. So that is called as Python, or you can use it in a command line as usual. As we have done the installation for command line, we can do in the command line. So understood what is interactive mode and what is scripting mode. It's as simple as that. In the interactive mode, you are writing the code and meanwhile you are getting the output. In the scripting mode, you are writing complete program and saving that in one particular file and you are executing the file. So that is the difference between two modes of execution. Then what we have is Python IDE. What is IDE? Integrated Development Environment. How many IDEs we have? We have lots of IDEs. The different IDE supports different types of different features of Python which can be used for that particular purpose. Okay. An IDE typically includes, what all IDE includes? It will be having the source code editor, means you're supposed to write the program in particular window, that is called as source code editor. Compiler or interpreter, of course we should have a compiler or the interpreter. Once we are writing the code, that has to be compiled or that has to be interpreted. Then integrated debugger. These are the basic things what every program must have. Editor, interpreter and debugger. If any error comes, that should be debugged. So that is a debugger. And graphical user interface. It also provides a GUI. So these all four important things that will be included in the IDE. Let's see different type of IDEs what Python has provided. One, IDLE. What you mean by IDLE? Integrated Development and Learning Environment. So this is one of the editor. It's a default editor that accomplishes the Python. Default editor to write anything programming using Python. Then this IDE is suitable for the beginner level developer. As we are the beginner level developer, we can use IDLE for our program execution, basic programs what we are going to execute. Next what we have is PyCharm. PyCharm is one more IDE provided by the Python, is a widely used Python IDE created by the JetBrains. Who created this IDE? JetBrains. This IDE is suitable for the professional developers and facilitates the development of the large Python projects. As we are stepping out of this college, we will go as a developer. As you people will go as a developer, join any company, at that time you can use this PyCharm. Okay, next type of IDE, next one more IDE is a Jupyter. Jupyter notebook we say in generally. So Jupyter is widely used in the field of data science, where widely it also supports the statistics calculations also. That's why it is used in the data science. It is easy to use, interactive and allow live code sharing and the visualization. It will allow live code sharing. You can share your code with your teammates. So, and also it will allow for visualization. That's why Jupyter will be used most of the time in the data science. Then Spider. Spider is another open source IDE most commonly used by the scientific development. During the researches and all, scientific calculations will be there. At that time, they'll use the Spider. Spider comes with the Anaconda distribution. You can see one more catchy name here, Anaconda, Spider, Jupyter, like all the names which comes in the Python are catchy names, right? So distribution which is popular for the data science and machine learning, where we are using this Spider most of the time. We are using it in the scientific development, which comes with the machine learning and then the data science. So apart from that, we have some more IDEs. Visual Code is one of the IDE. Atom. Atom is also one of the IDE provided by the Python. Easy to use machine learning packages by Python. And then PyDev for Eclipse. For developing Eclipse, we are using PyDev, and PyScript for developing the web pages. We will be using the PyScript. Python basics. What all the basic? For any programming language or any language, what is a basic? Basic is a grammar, right? If you are learning English, first you have to learn the English grammar, when to use adjective, adverb, noun, pronoun, so on things. If you are want to learn the new language like Spanish or this French, you are supposed to understand the grammar of that particular language. Similarly, when we are using the new language, we have to understand some basic concepts of new programming language, like what we have: keywords, identifier, expression statements, variables, and then the operators. Very important. It is like a grammar for any language. This all concepts will be the grammar for your programming language. Without that, it is difficult to understand the programming language. So let us see what is Python keywords. What is keyword? Keyword are predefined reserved words used in the Python programming language that have a special meaning to it. It has a special meaning. All the keywords are in smaller case except these three. The first letter of these three keywords are capital letter, and keywords are always case sensitive. As it is defined, we have to use them as it is. As it is saying, it is predefined and reserved, which is already predefined, so we have to use as it is. Okay, we should not change. Else I cannot write else like this. Okay, it should be like this only with a small case. Only these three keywords that will take a first letter as a capital letters. You know, these are all the Boolean values: false, true, and none. Okay, whenever we need to represent the Boolean values, we'll be using with and operation to this or this and this, as, assert, asynchronous. These are some of the keywords that has been used in the Python. Currently for the version 3.7, there are 33 keywords. And for 3.9, they have improved to the 35 plus. Okay, 35 plus keywords are there. So here this importantly we are using the global, if, else, finally, for, except. When we are going with the programming, when we are writing the programming, we are supposed to use all these keywords as it is described. Okay, so have a note on this and try to remember all the keywords. It's easy to write the program when you remember all the keywords. Next, what we have is Python identifier. What is identifier? Keyword is a predefined set of words reserved for particular concept, particular aspect. So what is identifier? Identifier are the name given to the variable, class, method, etc. Identifiers cannot be the keyword, or keyword cannot be the identifiers. What is identifier? Identifier is a name that is given to the variable or to the class or to the function or the method that what we are using. The rules to define the identifier, how we can define the identifier. Identifier cannot be the keyword. First and important rule is that keywords, whatever we have given, the 35 or 33 keywords, those keywords cannot be the name for any variable. And then identifier are case sensitive. Okay, these are all case sensitive. If you are declaring the identifier as X, it should be small x only, or if you are declaring with the capital Y, it should be capital Y wherever you are calling further in the program. Then it can have a sequence of letters and the digit. However, it must begin with the letter or the underscore. Identifier should always begin with the letter, or it should begin with the underscore. The first letter of the identifier should not be the digit, Okay, it is convenient to start the identifier with the letter rather than the digit or underscore. White space are not allowed. Okay, blank space are not allowed. We cannot use any special keyword like this except underscore. Underscore is allowed, but except underscore we cannot use any special character. These are set of the rules while we are defining the identifier. Next topic what we have is expression. What is expression? Any value given to the variable is called as expression. Say for example, x is equal to 5 is also expression. X plus y is equal to z is also an expression. Computing something on the computer is called as expression. An expression is a sequence or the combination of values, variable, operators and then the functions calls that produces a return or the result value, that produces the result value. So it will produce a value as x value as 5. It will produce, add the two values and produce the result for the variable z. So this is a expression. How many types of expression we have? Constant expression, arithmetic expression, integral expression, floating point expression and bitwise expression. How many types? We have 5 types of expression. What is constant expression? This is a constant expression. You are giving a constant value to the variable. That is a constant expression. What is arithmetic expression? This is we are computing some value upon the variable x and y and storing that into the z. That is called as arithmetic expression. Then integral expression. Integral expression produces the result, what the value we are returning only of the type integer, only of the type integer. Here for example, I am giving the x value as 3.5 plus y value as 4. The combination should be 4 plus 3 is 7.5, it should be there. But if you are using the integral expression, it will give the value as 7, it won't give the value 7.5. It will always return the integer value. Then comes the floating point expression. Floating point expression will return the floating point value. That is called as floating point expression. Bitwise expression, it will return either it is true or it is false, 0 or 1. That is a bitwise expression. These are the different types of expression how we can use. Next what is statement. What is statement? Statement, any instruction, a line of instruction in the programming language is called as statement. Say any instruction that a Python interpreter can execute is called statement. So for example, if a is equal to 10, it is also one statement. Print a is also one statement. What these two statements together will do? It will print the value for a as 10. Okay, each line of the code is called as statement. A statement is the smallest executable unit of the code that has an effect like creating the variable or displaying the value of the variable. The example has been this one. Creating the variable is also a statement. Using loops, using switch statement, if statement, not only that, creating a variable is also on a small piece of the code is also on a statement. Next what we have is Python variables. What are variables? Variables are the container that holds the value in it, right? So variables are the container that stores the data or the value. The Python has no command for declaring the variables. As we are declaring int a, float b, like that, we are not declaring in this type of thing in the Python. Python has no command to declare a variable. Directly what we are giving, a is equal to b or a is equal to 10, or we can say a plus b, print a plus b, it will give you the result directly. No prior declaration. A variable is created and the moment you first assign the value for it. When you first assign the value for it, like this, a is equal to 10, the same time it will be created. We need not to create explicitly like this. Okay, for example, x is equal to 5, y is equal to John. X is of the type integer, y is of the type character, like string, right? So this will be given then and there. Okay, that is what about the Python variables. Then what we have, a operator. It is operator that do any operation on the variables. A operator is the character that do operations on the given variables. Operators are used to perform the operations on the variables and the values. Example is, these are the operand, this is a operator. This is operand, right? Any calculation performance has to be done on the variables or the values, then operators come into picture. How many types of operators are there? We have different types of operator. One is arithmetic operator, assignment operator, comparison operator, logical operator, identity operator, membership operator, and bitwise operator. These are all something new what we have, identity operator and the membership operator. Let's see what we have in arithmetic and what we have in a assignment operator one by one. What we have in each type of the operators. Okay, how do we represent the operators? This is for operator. This is the name of the operator. This is an example. This is a arithmetic operators. What this gives? Plus gives addition, minus gives subtraction, star gives multiplication, bar gives division, this percentage gives modulus, double star gives exponent, and double slash will give the floor division. So these are all the basic arithmetic operation: addition, multiplication, division, and then the exponent. So this is how we are representing the operators. Then assignment operator. What is assignment of operator? Giving a value of for the variable, assigning the value to the variable. That's why it is called as assignment operator. In assignment operator, very first thing is equals to, that is x is equal to 5 means x is given with the value 5. X is a variable which holds the value 5 in it. So plus 3, plus equals to means what? We are incrementing the value of x by 3, or we are adding the value 3 to the x. Initially what I had, x is equal to 5 plus 3. That will be stored where? Stored in the x again. What is the value of 5 plus 3? That is 8. Now x value will be 8. Okay, understood. Plus equals to, similarly minus equals to, star equal to, and division equals to. Do the division and assign the value to the same variable. Okay, do the mod operation and assign the value to the same variable. Means here we have taken an example of variable x. Do the mod operation, then assign a value to the x itself. Then floor division, exponent, what we have is ampersand and equals to, or, and, or, negation, greater than, and less than. These are all different assignment operator. As equals to is a first assignment operator, everywhere we are using the equals to. So assigning the value from left hand side to right hand side. Next what we have is Python operator, bitwise operator. What we have? Comparison operator, that is equals to, double equals to. If we use a single equals to, it will assign a value. If we use a double equals to, it will compare the value of this with this left hand side value will be compared with the right hand side value. Here x is compared with the y. Then not equals to, here also left and right variables are compared, whether it is equals to or whether it is not equals to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. These are some of the comparison operators what we are using in the Python. Then some of the logical operators are and, or, and not. As we have discussed in the other programming language, logical operators are and returns the true if both the statements are true. It returns the true if one of the statement is true, reserves the result, returns the false if the result is true. Okay, that's just a negation of that. Okay, not x is less than 5 and x is greater than 10. It should be AND operator. You have to use if both the values should be right. If it is true, yes, if it is true and it's saying not, if the result will be, it returns the opposite of this, that is false. Then next type of the operator what we have is identity operator, which is new for this Python. Identity operators are used to compare the objects not if they are equal, but if they are actually same object with the same memory location. This is also type of comparison operator, but we are not comparing whether they are equal or not equal. We are just comparing whether it is present in same or same memory location. Okay, that is operator. Returns the true. It always returns the Boolean value. Okay, returns the true if both the variables are the same object. Variable what we have created using the same object, then it will return true. Variable what we have created is not of the same object, then it will return false. That is not is. Okay, whether that variable is a object of that particular thing or variable is not the object of that particular class. So that is called as identity operator. Then what we have is membership operator. Membership operator means whether it is a member of that particular class or not, whether that particular variable or object present in that class or not. As we have two things in, not in. Returns the true if the sequence with the specified value is present in the object. So that is a membership operator used to test if the sequence is present in or not in. It returns true if it is not present in the particular class or the sequence. So this is a membership operator. Then what we have is bitwise operators. As we have studied in different programming language, bitwise operators are and, or, not, and negation, XOR and not. So sets each bit to 1 if both bits are 1. That is 1 1 is equal to 1, 1 0 is equal to 0, 0 1 is equal to 0, 0 0 is equal to 0. This is for AND operation. OR operation, what we have 1 1 is equal to bits 1 if one of the values 1, right? It is 1 0, 1 0 1 1 0 0 is equal to 0, right? So this is for AND operation, this is for OR operation. Next, XOR sets each bit to 1 if only one bit. That means 1 0 and 0 1 will be equal to 1 and 1 1 will be 0 and 0 0 will be 0. Okay, this is our not XOR operation. This is for XOR operation, and not operand inverse the bit. If it is 0, it will inverse and give it as 1. If it is 1, it will inverse and give it as 0. That is a not operation, bitwise operations. Okay, apart from that, what we have is left shift and then the right shift. Fills 0 to the left shift, how many bits we shift, that many zeros will be filled to the left, and how many bits we shift to the right, that many zeros will be filled to the right. This is a left shift and this is a right shift. Shift the right by pursuing the copies of the leftmost bit in form the left and let the rightmost bit fall off. So it will shift. Shift means like if you have a value like this, x values like this, if you want to shift by right, it should be shift 2 values by right. So what it would be like, this 2 will be omitted and it will be 0 0 0 0 4 and remaining 2 value will be given with the 0. Okay, this is left shift and then the right shift operations. Next we'll move on to the operation preceding. Whenever we have so many operators, what operators to be executed first? That is also one big question, right? So that will be given with the precedence. So operator precedence. As the braces, whenever you are using any expression x plus y within the braces, this value will be given with highest precedency. After the braces, what will be having the exponent to the x to the power of 2 will be having more precedence, more value. This to be executed first. If any expression having this sort of expressions, then it has to be executed first. Then unary plus, unary minus and bitwise not. A single unary plus, unary minus will be having the next precedency. So this is having the highest precedency. Say it is 6, highest precedency 6. This will be having the precedency 5. This will be having the precedency 4. And multiplication, division, modulus and floor division will be having the precedency as 3. Addition and minus will be having a precedency 2 and left shift right shift will be having the precedency 1. So whenever this expression comes like this, say example A plus B plus C star D divided by E square. So consider one simple example here, which part of the expression should be executed first. As braces have a larger precedency, this has to be computed first, and the resultant after this has to be computed next. Okay, after doing this we have a division here. So division has to be computed at the third. After division, this both will be computed at the fourth, and this both will be computed at the fifth place. Okay, understood how the expression work? First, the parenthesis will take the first place to execute, then the division will take the first place to execute, exponent will take the first place to execute, like that. According to precedency, the expression will compute. So this is all for this session. Thank you.